Bitcoin's not going to fail. It's going to succeed because Bitcoin represents economic empowerment to everybody on the planet. Bitcoin represents a protocol for economic prosperity. It's kind of like we're speaking English and you're saying, well, what if people stop speaking English or just stop speaking? What if people stop speaking to each other? I don't think they're going to stop speaking to each other. If you had Arabic math or you had math, you said, what if people stop using math? I think they'll keep using math. I think they'll keep using English. I think they'll keep using Bitcoin because people need math to create machines that work and to engage in commerce. And they need language to coordinate with each other. And they need Bitcoin if they're going to engage in rational economic transactions. So it won't fail.
Something is shifting, and most people still don't see it. When Michael Saylor talks about 2026, he's not just predicting growth, he's describing a power shift in finance. For years, Bitcoin lived outside the system, ignored, doubted, even attacked. But now, the very institutions that once resisted it are starting to embrace it. Banks are rolling out digital credit products, not for traders, but for retirees, corporations, everyday investors. That's not hype, that's integration. And when money flows from traditional finance into Bitcoin, it doesn't trickle, it floods. But here's the real signal most people are missing: regulation. Saylor points out something critical: support from the Fed, Treasury, even the SEC. That changes everything. Because once regulation turns from resistance to acceptance, Bitcoin stops being risky and starts becoming inevitable. And then comes the Clarity Act, a move that could legitimize the entire crypto space overnight. My take? This isn't just adoption. This is absorption. Bitcoin isn't fighting the system anymore. It's being pulled into it. And when that happens, the upside doesn't come slowly. It hits fast.
2026 is a great year, a transition year where we're seeing the large banks embrace Bitcoin. We're launching all these digital credit products like Stretch to retail investors and retirees and corporate treasurers and financiers. And that's a great new group of supporters for Bitcoin. We've got probably the most supportive set of financial regulators in the history of the industry, going into the Fed, at Treasury, at the CFT, the SEC. So, and we've got the Clarity Act soon to be passed, which is just very enormously legitimizing for the entire industry. So I'm just looking forward to the advance and the expansion of the industry as it integrates into the mainstream financial. What's going to happen is we're going to use the first layer of Bitcoin as digital capital. I think you're going to see an explosion of digital credit at the second layer. I think that you're going to see digital money or digital currency at the third layer. And the third layer is going to be call it a Bitcoin-backed stable coin, or it's going to be a savings coin. It'll be like the dollar. You'll be able to move it around as a medium of exchange. It'll be integrated into all of the trillions of products and services that are priced in dollars, and all of the hundreds of millions of companies that take and spend dollars. But it will offer a much stronger yield, more like a 6, 7, 8% yield, which outstrips the cost of inflation. And that'll be strong, high-powered money built on Bitcoin. But I think we're headed toward a world where there's 1 billion people that just want a bank account that pays them 8%. It's like 6-year-old girl, 75-year-old retiree. What they're going to know is that digital money is powered by Bitcoin. And it's kind of like your electricity came from a nuclear reactor and you don't really know how to create a nuclear reactor, or you don't know how tricky it is, but it's like really good, cheap electricity. And so I really think that as Bitcoin spreads, what you're going to have is a group of people that understand very intricately the technology. But the great masses of people, it's like, they don't want to know how the plane works. They don't want to know how the car works. They don't want to know where the electricity comes from. They don't want to know how their food was prepared. Like most people don't know, how you create a Coca-Cola beverage or How do you create these things? Nobody knows how to make an iPhone. All they know is that they've got this insanely good product that solves the problems in their life, and it's based upon superior technology.
What Michael Saylor is revealing here is deeper than most people realize. He's not talking about Bitcoin as an investment anymore. He's talking about Bitcoin as invisible infrastructure. A world where 1 billion people don't care how it works. They just know their money grows. A child, a retiree, they're not studying blockchain. They just want something that works reliably, silently, powerfully. Just like electricity. Nobody asks how it's generated. Just like an iPhone. Nobody builds it, but everyone depends on it. That's Saylor's vision. Bitcoin becoming so embedded in everyday life that it disappears into the background. And that's the shift. Because when people stop questioning the technology and start trusting the outcome, adoption doesn't feel like a decision anymore.
All of the digital credit instruments we created, we did $8 billion of issuance of digital credit last year, approximately. They were all created with AI. AI is going to radically transform every product and service and every role in our civilization. And, one of the more negatives is it's demonetizing human capital. It's like if your company had 15,000 trained professionals, it's more challenging because it's possible the AI might start to automate out 8,000 of those jobs. But on the other hand, as it demonetizes human capital, it accelerates the transition of capital to digital capital. So it's monetizing digital capital, and that's what Bitcoin is. So broadly speaking, as you see this develop, it's driving a lot of wealth into digital capital. I think that's positive. I think there are a lot of interesting applications of AI. In theory, you can create an AI that's transnational. You can capitalize it with Bitcoin. You can release it to the universe, and it can become autonomous. And you couldn't capitalize an AI with fiat currency or any kind of conventional security portfolio. So you may see autonomous creatures or autonomous actors that are capitalized with Bitcoin going forward. That would be interesting. I think it's inevitable that the AIs will do things faster and more sophisticated. So in a world of 1 billion AIs, talking to 1 billion AIs 1 billion times an hour on Saturday night, they're going to bypass conventional analog assets, and they're going to bypass traditional financial systems, and they're going to want to move digital assets, digital currency, digital capital around on a digital standard. And of course, the two things that Bitcoin offers that are just really important are it offers an uncorruptible network of capital or source of capital. So it is that, but also it offers an immutable global source of truth and integrity. So I think the AIs will want to use that for authentication. I also think that if the AIs begin to imitate us in phishing attacks, then the importance of cryptographic verification will become more important. And so authentication and verification cryptographically will start to absorb its authenticity or derive its authenticity or veracity from the Bitcoin network underlying, because Bitcoin, the Bitcoin network and Bitcoin transactions are the gold standard of authentication and veracity. So I think in this era, Bitcoin and all the underlying things it represents are going to grow more and more important to the digital economy.
And here's the part most people still don't see. This isn't about understanding Bitcoin. It's about benefiting from it. Just like electricity powers your life without you knowing how it works, Bitcoin is quietly becoming the engine behind a new financial system. One that could deliver real returns, like that 8% to billions of people. But here's the real question. When that moment comes, will you already be positioned, or will you be trying to catch up? Are we witnessing the birth of a system where banks no longer compete with Bitcoin, but depend on it? If that got you thinking, hit like, drop your thoughts in the comments, share this with someone who needs to see it, and subscribe for more Bitcoin and crypto insights from Michael Saylor. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.